Woo, good people, good people. I am in my feelings today. I'm gonna go ahead and admit it and put it out there before we even get started. This is episode number 5. It is May 8th, 2022, Mother's Day, a new Mother's Day for me. Something that I think it was a little bit unexpected. I don't think this was what I was prepared to feel, especially on a day that I'm celebrating for more than one reason, celebrating Mother's Day for more than one reason. And it's, yeah, um, different. Different, not in a bad way, but definitely different, a learning experience for me. Let's talk. Hey, good people. I am here today to talk about a new Mother's Day. I'm just going to go ahead and explain before we even get started. I'm playing BJ's playlist today, so songs are just going to kind of pop up. They'll be relevant in some way. I don't even know how they're going to roll. I just kind of got them in here mixed up. But new Mother's Day for me started off pretty nice. Um, Started off with me finding out that my nephew was here. He was born around 6 a.m. Mother's Day morning. So, welcoming him, congratulating my niece, that was beautiful. That was something that I think I was expecting to happen the day before, but it was amazing. It was amazing getting that news first thing in the morning. And I'm looking at the clock and saying to myself, okay, he's here. Now we can celebrate this and we can celebrate Mother's Day. That's a double celebration, and his birthday will fall on Mother's Day, every, is that 7 years or 6 or 7 years, however that falls. But sometimes it'll be Mother's Day, sometimes it won't. Um, and maybe it won't fall that way. I don't know. I get mixed up with the calendar days and how things fall, but neither here nor there. Um, Started off great. My only concern was what I was going to wear, literally. And when I showered, I said to myself, I want to make this a special day. I want to make this a day that I can be excited about, a day that I can celebrate my work, right, as a mother. And I said, well, I wear white today. Not only will I wear white, I'm going to wear what I wore, partially, what I wore at my son's wake. I love that. I love that blouse. And, it took some convincing for me to even buy it. I just thought it was kind of too much. Um, but I heard my son's voice, get it, Mom, get it. If you want it, Mom, get it. That's just kind of how he was. If you want it, just get it. It doesn't matter. Just get it if you want it. So I heard that voice and I did that. So I remember I hadn't really figured out where would I wear that again. Perfect opportunity. So I put it on and I just threw on a pair of jeans with it. So my husband followed suit. I'm wearing the top that I wore. He puts on the shirt that he wore. And it was nice. And we went out. We had an amazing breakfast. It was perfect. It was perfect. The food was perfect. We enjoyed each other's company. Everything was good. It was fine. And then I made it home, or we made it home. I talked to my daughter. We were laughing and talking about things. We talked about Taylor being born and him being a big, healthy baby, 9 pounds and some. Incredible. In which we knew he was going to be a big boy. Kind of makes me smile just to think about that because it's just a blessing. Lives are just a blessing. And we talked about that and just talked about something that she had done the night before. We had an amazing conversation. And so I felt like, okay, I had my time with my daughter. Now it's time for me to have my time with my son. So I get off the phone with her and I sit at my son's altar and light a candle for him. And I talk and I talk. And I can feel a shift. I can feel something. I just don't really know what it is. I just feel it. And it shifted in a way that's just not really what I want to feel at the time. And I'm missing him. I start grieving him again, which I know I'm going to grieve him the rest of my life. I know that. But it was just such an incredible event because I was literally on cloud nine. And then that shifts. And I just paused when I heard this song come on. And this is the reason I did this playlist this way, because things are just going to come together the way they're supposed to. And this is what comes on as I start discussing my son. Missing you, obviously. It just, things just happen the way they're supposed to. I didn't time it. It's just the way it came out. And I absolutely miss him. And I started missing him in a way that made me uncomfortable. And it made me so uncomfortable that I started to isolate. Even though I'm taking pictures and sending pictures of myself and my husband at the restaurant, I'm sending pictures. And then I start isolating. Less than an hour later, I just feel shut down. I feel heavy. These feelings come rushing in, and I don't even know where they came from. And it's the realization of Mother's Day, what Mother's Day means. Hmm. Then I started to think about, okay, what do you need to do, Joe? Do you know what you do when you start feeling heavy? You know what you do. Okay, all right, run some water and light some candles and just kind of sit, just kind of relax, just kind of sit with it. You understand what's going on. Then hours go by and it's not lifting. And I really don't know what to do because it won't lift. And I'm doing the strategies. I'm doing what makes me feel better and it won't lift. The only thing that I could do at that point was just sit there and cry. And for a little bit, scream. I literally couldn't do anything. My husband is visiting his mother at this point. My mother's not local. And I realized that there's something that I feel like I'm missing also. Something that I didn't even realize. I'm missing my mother as well. And I'm missing my son. Because I can't get in the car and go drive and go see my mom. I can only call. She can only call me. There's really nothing that I can do about that. That's just the situation. So then I think to myself, why the separation? And I don't know. I do know that that's just the way it is right now. But I think that everything that happens for a reason. And the separation is something that I'm going to have to fight through, even still. Separation from my mother and the separation from my son. That is my life. And I have to try to figure that out, but I don't know how to figure it out. And it's just so heavy. It's just so difficult. And it's hard to stay positive. All of these things happen. And you know you have to figure something out, and you know you have to come out of it some way, somehow. And I didn't know what that was going to look like. I just know that the energy was being drained out of me for hours. And mm, mm, mm. It is just ironic how these songs are rolling through. This is one of BJ's favorite songs. And it's a song that I do hear out of nowhere sometimes. Music is very powerful, and it does have a way of translating a message. And I listened to this playlist earlier, but I listened to it in the order that it was recorded. And this is the song that came on when I sat up and said I have to get up because it reminded me of him. Something made me sit up. Something made me say, okay, Jody, get up. And it's those kinds of messages and that influence in the moment that comes about that we want to ignore because we want to sit in that energy. It's kind of easier to sit in that energy. But if we're going to survive, if we're going to come through it, we have to fight through it and do those things that we don't want to always do. The episode before, when I talked about the yes, and then the episode before that, when I talked about the no, I got a no for sitting in that tub and that energy. And I got that yes for standing up and standing up and getting through this rain, as this song says, standing the rain. And there have been some really tough times that I have gone through just in the last few months. And I've had to withstand. I've had to stand that rain. It's had to happen in order to come through, in order to make my way out of it. And shortly after that, my husband comes back home and he checks on me, make sure I'm good. I was making my way around, but I wasn't good yet. And I just have to say that there are certain things and certain people in our lives that are put there for a reason at the very time that they need to be put there. And that time that he was away gave me time to process and to think, realize what's going on, and fight my way through it alone. And I appreciate that. And once I had made it to a certain point, then he came, and that was further confirmation to keep going, keep moving, keep pushing yourself through. And it still took some time. It wasn't instantaneous. It still took some time. But I just want to say to mothers, sisters, brothers, relatives, friends, anyone that is listening, when you lose a loved one and you make it to these holidays that are traditionally holidays of joy and traditionally holidays of celebration, it's going to feel different for you. And I hope that next year I'm more prepared to deal with it and I understand what it is that I need to do and that I accept what my task is for that day. I know that I reached out to my nephew and I was saying some things that I know had to be troubling for him. But Jamal pulled me through. He pulled me through. I'm sorry I said his name. I don't want to say names because some people don't like their name mentioned, but thank you, nephew, for pulling me through because that was a rough one. That was a rough one. Don't isolate so much that you can't allow those that love you to help pull you through. Because I honestly don't know what the thoughts would have been had he not given me the encouragement that I needed. I would have eventually come out, sure, but I definitely needed that. Definitely. Hmm. Every step I take, okay, all right. Or I'll be missing you. but I'm thinking about the lyrics of this song. It's just funny the way these songs are popping up right now. Let me just say that I started getting text messages from my son's friends. This song is significant because it is like this song with, you know, Puff and Big and all of them. And it's about friendship and him missing his friend. And my son's friends reached out. And it was just like back to back to back. They're just coming from out of nowhere. I'm thinking about you. Thinking about you, Mom. Have a happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you, Mom. I'm still thinking about you, Mom. They just kept coming back to back. And then one of his friends reached out and said, "Are you home?" And I said, "Yeah, I am home." And he said, "I want to come see you. We want to come see you." And they came by. And it was something about that young energy from those 20-year-olds. They went to high school with my son, so they're 22. And just that energy from them and just them coming through. It was three of them. Three is always, it's always magical with these stories where he's concerned. So it was the three of them. Three of them came through, spent some time, laughed and talked and took a picture and helped to bring me further out of that space that I was in. Now, I sat at my son's altar for a good long while and I asked for some things. Can I prove that he sent something to me? I can't prove that. But those three that came, that was definitely a gift for me, and I'm grateful for it. I'm smiling about it right now. Just the fact that the three of them came over. And as soon as they left, then I kind of got a bow on the package. Then I had one more friend come by, someone that understands me in a way that doesn't require conversation, someone that's so close to me and to the family that all she said was, "No, I just want to see you, just want to look at you," and just held on to me. That's it. Kind of reminds me of the day that my sister-in-law came up to my job and just kind of, no, we just holding each other. That's all we're gonna do. It was that. It was that. That one friend that came and said, "No, just want to see you. That's all. If you want to talk, you can. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to." All of this to say that we have people around us that will hold on to us if we allow it, and that isolation can be a useful tool at times. And friends and family members, please allow your loved ones that time to grieve, but don't walk away and just leave them unattended. It is a lonely space to be in. And hopefully, you are close enough with those friends, with those family members, with those loved ones that you know how to gauge and that you continue to engage so that when they reach those moments, when they just don't know what to do, or when they're confused and when they're frustrated, and when they don't understand how their emotions shifted, that they have someone. It's a confusing place to be. Make sure you're there for those people that need you. There is nothing more important. That's, yeah, that's all I have. All right, recapping. Oof, recapping that. Still going on with this playlist. I don't know what this was with my son and True. I just remember being in the car one day and him saying, "What? Who made that song, Mom? I like that song. Yeah, Troop Spread My Wings. Who knew? I remember that song when I was in high school. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that reached out, and even those who haven't reached out. If you thought about me or are listening right now, you're thinking about doing your work and about helping others, it doesn't matter. You're still part of the process, and I appreciate you. Thank you for my family members, my siblings, my mom, my uncle, nephews, nieces, gosh, cards, gifts. I even had a drop by and a package on my porch while I was in my isolation moment. It really felt good once I came out of kind of my cloud to see how close people are holding me to them. And if we're all able to see that and realize that once we come out of our cloud, we have so many more people in our corner than we realize. Take the time to acknowledge those that are there for you, to support you, and who love you. So I want to say before I sign off that I love you and thank you so much for listening. And I hope you feel better if your Mother's Day was heavy for any reason. As Troop says, spread your wings, fly away, right? Enjoy what's left of your Mother's Day or enjoy what's left of your Sunday, whatever you would like that to be. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Bye.